Chapter 10. I'll go in here, Jonas, Fiona told him when they reached the front door of the house of the old after parking their bicycles in the designated area. I don't know why I'm nervous, she confesses. I've been here so often before. She turned her folder over in her hands. Well, everything's different now, Jonas reminded her. Even the nameplates on our bikes. Fiona laughed. During the night, the nameplate of each new 12 had been removed by the maintenance crew and replaced with the style that I indicated citizens in training. I don't want to be late, she said hastily, and started up the steps. If you finish at the same time, I'll ride home with you. Jonas nodded, waved to her, and headed around the buildings towards the annexes, a small wing attached to the back. He certainly didn't want to be late for his first day of training either. The annexes was very ordinary, its door unremarkable. He reached for the heavy handle, then noticed a buzzer on the wall. So he buzzed instead. Yes, the voice came through a small speaker above the buzzer. It's Jonas. I'm the new come in. A click indicated that the door had been unlatched. The lobby was very small and contained only a desk at which a female attendant sat working on some papers. She looked up when she entered. Then, to his surprise, she stood. It was a small thing, the standing, but no one had ever stood automatically to acknowledge Jonas's presence before. Welcome, receiver memory, she said respectfully. Oh, please, he replied uncomfortably. Call me Jonas. She smiled, pushed the button, and he heard a click that unlocked the door to her left. You may go right on it, she told him. Then she seemed to notice his discomfortable and to realize its origin. No doors in the community were locked, ever, none that Jonas knew of, anyway. The locks are simply to ensure the receiver's privacy because he needs concentration, she explained. It would be difficult if citizens wandered in, looking for the Department of Bicycle Repair or something. Jonas laughed, relaxing a little. The woman seemed very friendly. And it was true. In fact, it was a joke throughout the community that the Department of Bicycle Repair, an important little office, was relocated so often that no one ever knew where it was. There is nothing dangerous here, she told him, but she added, glancing at the wall clock, he doesn't like to keep waiting. Jonas hurried through the door and found himself in a comfortably furnished living area. It was not unlike his own family unit's dwelling. Furniture was standard throughout the community, practical, sturdy, the function of each piece clearly defined. A bed for sleeping, a table for eating, a desk for studying. All of those things were in this spacey room, though each was slightly different from those in his own dwelling. The fabrics on the upholstered chairs and sofa were slightly thicker and more luxurious. The table legs were not straight like those at home, but slender and curved, with a small curved decoration at the foot. The bed, in an alcove at the far end of the room, was draped with a splendid cloth embroidered over its entire surface with intricate design. But the most conspicuous difference was the books. In his own dwelling there were the necessary reference volumes that each household contained, a dictionary and thick community volume, which contained description of every office, factory, buildings, and committee, and the book of rules, of course. The books in his own dwelling were the only books that Jonas had ever seen. He had never known that other books existed, but this room's wall was complete, completely covered by bookcases, filled, which reached to the ceiling. There must have been hundreds, perhaps thousands, of books, their titles embossed in shiny letters. Jonas stared at them. He couldn't imagine what the thousands of pages contained. Could there be rules beyond the rules that govern the community? Could there be more descriptions of offices and factories and committees? He had only a second to look around because he was aware that the man sitting in the chair beside the table was watching him. Hastily, he moved forward, stood before the man, bowed slightly, and said, "I'm Jonas. I know welcome, receive of memory." Jonas recognized the man. He was the elder who had seemed separate from the others at the ceremony, though he was dressed in the same special clothing that only elders wore. Jonas looked self-consciously into the pale eyes that mirrored his own. "Sir, I apologize for my lack of understanding." He waited, but the man did not give the standard accepting of apology response. After a moment, Jonas went on, "But I think," he corrected. He minded himself that if precision of language were ever to be important, it was certainly important now, in the presence of this man. "That you are the receiver of memory. I was only assigned, select, yesterday. I'm not everything at all. Not yet." The man looked at him thoughtfully, silently. It was a look that combined interest, curiosity, concern, and perhaps a little sympathy as well. Finally he spoke, beginning today, this moment, at least to me, you are the receiver. "I have been the receiver for a long time, very, very long time. You can see that, can't you?" Jones nodded. The man was wrinkled, and his eyes, though piercing in their unusual lightness, seemed tired.